with your club. Stay with the Tigers. I don't get this idea that we're all going to be like, yeah, it's okay. Let Skubal come in and throw 3 pitches and then be done. It's insane to me. I don't get it. So Team USA's roster is tremendous. If we play everybody. Japan at 4-1, looking to repeat as champions from last year. Their pitching staff is crazy. Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki. Like, if they get any offense whatsoever, Japan's going to be a real big problem. And they got Ohtani, who's going to hit and pitch. So you've got him in this thing. And yes, they're going to baby him pitching-wise. And yes, he's going to hit more than he pitches. But still, they have Ohtani. So they're legitimately going to be a problem. The Dominican Republic has a lineup that might be the best lineup ever seen in a World Baseball Classic. Soto, Vlad Jr., Tatis Jr., their pitching is nasty. Like, if Team USA loses to somebody, it very well might be the Dominican Republic. Like, they may have enough to beat Japan. I'm not sure they got enough to beat the Dominican Republic. And at 3-1, that's pretty good odds. 4-1 Japan, 3-1 Dominican. Venezuela is the long shot team. Acuna Jr., Altuve, they got some sneaky pitching. They're 9-1. That's kind of a long shot. But what if you built a team world against Team USA? Who would win? If everyone said yes. So I went and I asked ChatGPT, because that's all we do these days, right? Said, build me the best lineup for Team USA. If everyone said yes, build me the best lineup you can possibly build for Team USA, and then build me the best lineup for Team World. If you are my age, we used to do this with video games. We used to just stack lineups and say, let's build the best lineup we can build, and let's see it. So here's Team USA. Mookie, Trout, Judge, Harper, Tucker, Witt Jr., Henderson, Rushman, and Turner. It's a hell of a lineup. That's insane. Your bench is guys like Pete Alonso and Paul Goldschmidt. But here's the problem. I take Team World every damn day. Look at the team. Look what you could go ahead and build here for Team US, for the Team World. Acuna Jr., Soto, Ohtani, and Vladimir Jr. Just stop there. Like, that top 4, get out of here. Like, that's insane. Then you have Jose Ramirez, Tatis Jr., Lindor, Yamamoto. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is on the bench. Are you kidding me? Bo Bichette is on the bench. That's bonkers. So if you were picking, here's your chat question of the day. Team USA or Team World? Who wins in a 7-game series if you played this? Pitching obviously would factor in, right? Let's see who's pitching. I like Team USA pitching, but lineup-wise, that lineup's nasty. Yeah, I would agree. Team USA gets smoked. Yes, I would agree with that. Oh, Billy takes Team USA. I don't take Team USA. I don't take Team USA. Not at all. Yeah, the Dominican lineup's no joke. Yep. I think you got to look at that. I think Dominican, that's a team you got to look at. I think in terms of how the World Baseball Classic is going to go down, how it's going to get played. Remember, the bracket is interesting, but you look at the Dominican Republic, Israel, Nicaragua, and the Netherlands, like, see you later. Like, that's not really going to be a worry. Venezuela is a good team. Got to worry about getting by them. But top 2 teams come out of the pool. So you have to expect Venezuela and the Dominican get out of that. Japan, Australia won 3-0 last night in the first game. They won against Chinese Taipei, so they're 1-0 already. But you most likely, so Australia, Japan probably come out of that at a pool C. Puerto Rico and Cuba most likely come out of that, but Colombia is going to be in the conversation as well for pool A, and pool B is Team USA, and then most likely Mexico coming out of that, although Great Britain's team isn't horrible. So that will be wild to see what happens out of pool B. But then you go to the quarterfinals, and the winner of pool A wins the runner-up of pool B, and then you vice versa, and then you go to the semifinals. And who are we pitching for these games? Like, are we watching Logan Webb? Is that what we're going to do? We're just watching Logan Webb, and we're all like, yeah, this is great. Our best of the best. Let's throw Logan Webb. Sorry. I'm going to get mad. Like, I'm going to get mad watching this, because again, we just watched the Olympians. We watched Team USA for the men and the women hockey, and we watched them give up their body. We watched them sacrifice, and we watched them take pucks to the knee, pucks to the ankle, guys getting beat up, fights, like, just, and then obviously the injury to Crosby. like that's the standard. It's not baseball's fault, but it is baseball's fault because you're playing this during spring training, and this is going to matter to people. This is going to matter. This has heat. I'm excited to talk to Adam Bjorn here in just 1 second about the handle because there's heat in the media. So is there going to be heat at the counter for folks to bet it? I would anticipate that there's going to be, but let's find out. Let's find out where Adam is as well. The one and only Adam Bjorn joining us here from Betcris, somewhere in this wonderful world. Where are you, my friend? How are you?
Still in Costa Rica right now. Actually getting on a plane tomorrow, so you got me one day early. But in Costa Rica, weather's still perfect. So,
so what about the World Baseball Classic? This is not the World Cup, okay? World Cup's coming later. Obviously, it's got a big year. But what do you make of the World Baseball Classic? Are you seeing any action up to this point, and will you see more action tomorrow when it starts?
I hope there's more action because it's absolute peanuts right now.
Wow.
Just chicken scraps, if that. However, I did pull up the odds to win it all. Decent volume there. DR's the one that's been bet the heaviest, from plus 460-ish down to around 300 now. Japan obviously was early faves. At plus 230, they're out to like 360, 370. USA started at plus 170. Now they're into odds on around the minus 110, 120, but money was late at minus 130. And then your sneaky long shot, Venezuela got heavy money at 20s, some master money at 17s, and obviously we're seeing them around the 10-1 mark right now. But DR the biggest loser, then USA, Japan a good winner.
In terms of interest, like what can you compare in the futures market? What can you compare it to? Is there any comparison to it, or is it just sort of like, the action's not really all that great?
I mean, there's decent action where you can sort of look at it and go, okay, we need to trade this thing. Okay. What does it compare against to? I'm not really sure. I'd have to
a mid-major Tuesday basketball game type stuff, or more than that.
Oh, no, it's more than that. You're getting, the volume on it is kind of, looking at, exhibition baseball is getting some great volume right now. I had a quick look at that and was like, okay, that was at the top of the chart. And I was looking at those numbers and then going down. And then it was like, have people forgotten that the Baseball Classic is on? Because there's literally just scraps on that. But yeah, I mean, it's low mid six figures on it so far overall, which again is, over the course of, it's hard to know. It's a NASCAR, maybe a NASCAR race sort of on a weekend or something like that is what it's maybe looking like right now.
I mean, I'll tell you, for me, I'm super excited to watch it. I am not super excited to bet it. I think it's really difficult to find edges with this because we don't know what the managers are going to do with their players, because all these guys are essentially loners, right? They're representing their country, but they all have to go play Major League Baseball. So if a manager mismanages a pitcher, a reliever, if they leave somebody in the game too long, like I feel like there's a big potential that you're expecting one team to show up and you might get something totally differently in the game itself. And that's going to be scary to lay big money down on that. At least is for me.
So that's where the live betting may come into it, where people are just situational kind of playing, getting in and out of games, depending on how it's looking per inning, maybe just playing some of, I don't know what the depth of markets are. There may be like inning props and stuff like that. Who wins the next innings, over under innings, stuff like that. So maybe that's where they come in and out of these positions. But yeah, definitely pregame. No one's getting excited about it right now.
All right. Everyone is interested in the shirt, Adam. They're all really excited about the Betcris merchandise. They think this is special. I'm actually just completely unplanned. I am wearing my Betcris t-shirt today, so I am equally sporting the brand. But
so this one's actually the Betcris Jamaica.
Yeah,
started 10 years ago or something, and I have shirts laying all over the place. Occasionally I walk into the office and see someone wearing them as well. Now defunct and not in operation today, but conversations are bringing it back potentially. But yeah, I'm always branded somewhere, somehow. I just get the polo shirts, put the brand on them, and good to go.
ND9 Go Irish says he wants a Prime Sports shirt to wear in Kentucky.
All right. So I'll tell you what, Kentucky, I don't know where you're located. Yep. Send me over where you are. I'll be there. Keeneland, Masters weekend, I believe. Going to meet with the syndicate that I have a horse with. And then my idea is to be there the week before Kentucky Derby, trying to sort of push the brand and whatnot for Prime and that there as well. So I hope to get a solid 10 to 14 days in Kentucky in April. So anyone out there that's, wants to reach out, grab a drink, perfect. Louisville, I'll be there for at least the Derby. So, definitely getting on the ground over the next few months and trying to pick up some players. Because at the end of the day, we have everything we need. We just need more players.
Yep. Did I ever tell you the story about what happened to me when we went to Kentucky last year about the time change? So you got to be careful about the Central Time, Eastern time change, because I was driving from Franklin to Louisville to go to the Elijah Craig distillery, which is my favorite whiskey. And so I booked myself for a 4:00 tour, the last tour of the day. And I did not realize that I was going to drive and it was going to be 5:00 when I arrived there, not 4:00 when I arrived. So I did not get to go because of the time change. So that's a funky state. So the time change is weird.
100%, because I was in Chattanooga last September and drove up to Circus Sportsbook and noticed on the dashboard the clock was just like, what's going on here? I had no idea what time it was by the end of it. And thankfully understood that, because on the way back we had dinner reservations and the same thing was like, so what time is it? And then you get onto the Google, okay, what time is it? Where am I? But yeah, that's a challenging state, that one.
Yeah, because it popped up as I was driving. It popped up on my Google. It said, this place will be closed by the time you arrive. And I was like, how's that possible? It doesn't make any sense. So I called and I was like, hey, I'm booked to go on the tasting tour for you guys at 4:00. And she's like, great, can't wait to see you. And I'm like, but why does it say you're going to be closed when I get there? And she's like, where are you? And I said, I'm outside of Nashville. I'm outside of Franklin, Kentucky. And she's like, yeah, we're Eastern time. You're in Central time. You're going to lose an hour when you wind up crossing over the timeline. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. She's like, yeah, so you're not going to get here by 4:00. So you're going to be here at 5:00 and we're going to be closed. I was like, oh, that's awful. Boy. So that was a frustration. So I still have never been to the Elijah Craig distillery. I need to cross it off my bucket list at some point to be able to go ahead and do that. All right. So that's surprising. So not a lot of action coming up here for the World Baseball Classic, although there is some in the futures market, obviously. So we've got these mid-major conference tournaments starting. There's the Arch Madness is in St. Louis and a bunch of other ones that are going on at the moment for college basketball. Obviously, the big guys get going next week, but what type of action do you guys see from the mid-major conference tournaments this weekend?
We still see action. I mean, people sort of tune into these ones as well. I look at some of the games like today. We're looking at Hawaii, Cal Riverside, Drake, Southern Illinois. Yeah, like these are the big volume games today. Memphis, South Florida is big as well. Western Kentucky, Missouri State. I mean, these are the big volume games today.
Yeah, what's the Drake game? Because I'm in on the under on Drake, Southern Illinois. What's the action? Where the Masters money coming on that?
Yeah, so on the side, Drake, it's about 62% on them. 54% of the master money's on them as well. Total slide on the overall, and the master total is well balanced there on the total as well.
So I have covered the Missouri Valley Conference tournament more than any other tournament. And every single year, I place the same bet every year. The first game of the entire tournament is under because nobody is there. It's Thursday. It's dead quiet. You can literally hear the coaches talking to their players. It's unbelievable. It's the strangest environment. And Southern Illinois has been a dead under team. I think they're 21-5 to the under this season. Wow. So they are a complete under. So I'm surprised we're not seeing more, but it opened at 143 at certain books. It was immediately hammered down to 136.5. Where are you guys at from a number perspective for that game? Where's the total?
So it looks like our first action was 138.5, 138. It's gone as low as 134.5. It's sitting around the 136 right now.
Okay. Yeah. I laid 136. I went under 136 last night. So 134. Oh boy, that's okay. Like I might have bet the over. What you got, if you got 140 and you got 134, it's a heck of a middle you can take right there. A little bit of an arb you can get into with those, given the opening numbers for that. So do you take any future action on those conference tournaments, the smaller ones? Do people bet that as to who's going to win it?
I'm not sure these ones. Let me quickly look here. Basketball. Yeah.
Because that seems, it's tough to bet those.
Yeah, these ones don't seem to. Yeah, we've got them. Missouri Valley Conference Tournament winner, Ohio Valley, Patriot League, Summit League. Yeah,
I looked at it yesterday for you guys. You guys have Belmont as a decent price to win the Valley, which I was like, that's a good bet. Take Belmont to win the Valley.
So Belmont has most of the action, but the heavy master action is on Northern Iowa.
Okay.
Looking at around 4-1. They're now threes, and the Belmont money come in around 158 down to 145. They're sitting at 150 right now.
Okay, cool. The Duke North Carolina game is always special. It's unique. It's a standalone game. People watch it who don't watch college basketball will watch Duke and North Carolina play. Historically, what type of action do you see on that game? And then what are you expecting, even though I don't know if there's a line out yet for Duke Carolina Saturday, but what type of action do you expect to see for the number one team in the country trying to revenge a loss to Carolina that they should have won the first game?
Yeah, I mean, looking back at that Duke Michigan game, there was good volume on that. I expect the same here. The last time Duke were a dog was February 2024. They've been the favorite in the last 5, averaging between 4.5 and 13.5. I think it was 6.5, 7 the game a month ago.
Yep.
And I actually had a customer go to that game. I guess had one of the kids there checking out the UNC as a university potential. And I got the video and said, decision made, she's going to UNC. So, based on that shot, whatnot.
I'm
so fully aware of the game and was watching it actually live as it went back and forth, and then that big run at the end, and then, winning the game on that last second buzzer. But, I mean, if they were 6.5 then, everything I read is about these players just hungry to get their revenge on this one and win this one. So I think Duke will be coming hard. I imagine it's going to be close to a double-digit number, if not low double digits, and I think the money will be the public money will come strong on the favorite.
Our resident North Carolina fan says he thinks it's going to be Duke minus 7.5 for Saturday's number. So I think that's a decent number. I think you would see some good two-way action on that. Carolina, that was an amazing performance. They always rise up to play Duke, but Duke's been killing people. They beat Michigan, which was surprising, but they've been annihilating. They beat NC State. I bet them. I laid 9.5 with them on Tuesday or Monday. It was Monday, I guess. That they've been ruining people. So that sound right to you? 7.5.
I think it'll be a little higher. If it's 7.5, I'll play the minus and ride it out and see how it goes.
Yeah, I probably would lay Duke too if it's 7.5 with a good revenge spot for them to come after it. All right, UFC 326 is coming up on Saturday. We don't have an official belt, but we kind of do. It is the second matchup between Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. This is sort of a UFC fight fan card and a fight fan main event, but it is two headliners that people know. It is two fighters that have big fan bases. What's the early action so far on the main event for 326 on Saturday?
Yeah, well, considering the rematch is 11 years old, they're coming in and Holloway is 74% of the money on Holloway right now. 100% of the master money is on Oliveira. So definitely sitting up as a data play right now. It did jump out to me as soon as I logged in to see this. Obviously, it's only Thursday. We've got some time to go. But yeah, right now, generally the money's on the favorite, but the pros are on the underdog.
So when you say it's going to be a data play, remind people, what does that mean when it's a data play?
So generally what I'm looking at is for heavy recreational, heavy money on one side, and then what we classified as masters or pros, whether that's arbitragers, originators, those kind of players on the other side. That's a position that we really sort of take a strong role in. If the Rex and the average people are all on one side, but we've got some strong, smart money on the other side, then it's really hold the number, lay it hard, let them go, and take a stance in that position. And oddly enough, as I've been sort of diving into these publicly a bit more the last year and a half, it's been pretty insane how these things have been landing.
It's like 75%, is it not?
I would say it's, up around that area. I mean, I've played them for decades, and I'm not a bankroll manager. I've said this many times. I just bet whatever's there in the account. I just bet it. No responsible gaming from this current player. So I done this, and I was always cautious on publicly sort of pushing these things out or tipping anything, touting anything, because ultimately when I bet, the number doesn't exist anymore and stuff like this. So some of these things where I haven't played and I just sort of look at the numbers, they're really holding up strong. I think even on this show last week or the week before, just randomly going through it, and then next day saw the score and thought, hang on a second, did that actually happen? It's freaky how it's been happening, because growing up doing this thing, whenever I announced to anybody what I was backing, what I was playing, what my goals were, dead. Jinxed it, dead in the water.
Yeah.
So I was very hesitant coming into this, but now I'm leaning into it. I'm just giving the data. I haven't got plays or action in it, and so far it's been delivering.
JPC said he watched you during the NFL season. You were very profitable during the live streams before kickoff on the NFL. So were you on a run where you hit like 8, 9, 10 in a row? You some crazy run?
Yeah, NFL's been insane the last 2 seasons. We started the previous one just hot. Like even one week picked a 1-5 margin in one game. Had a parlay as well. And then this year I think we started rough the first week or two, and then it just started rolling. And towards the end of the season, then Super Bowl as well ended up a play as well. So it's been strong. Knock wood, I expect to come back to earth one day but it's just random shit, and it's just some data stuff. And so far people have been taking advantage of it. So I'll just keep sharing.
Yeah, keep doing it. It's great. I feel that way a lot with the daily juice, where I'm always somewhat afraid to jinx certain things and certain plays. And it's like when you're going wrong, if things aren't going right, you got to change it. But if you're going well, like I'm having a very good week betting this week. I'm 9-2 this week. And so like, when does the other shoe drop? Like you're waiting for that course correction to come through at some point in time, and you're just praying it doesn't happen right away. Like ride it out as long as you can ride the wave.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the big things with steam chasers. Like I get it. If you see the action, you can get old numbers and whatnot. But I've done it. I've gotten Billy Walters stuff week 1 of college football and chased it hard and lost my entire bankroll because I got half a point here, missed 1 point here, stuff like that. Yeah. So you've really just got to. And you're not getting all my stuff every day. It's just random ones that are popping up and things like that on the data stuff. So you've really just got to use it as a piece of information, add it into your portfolio of information that you're making decisions on betting and things like that. And I think generally that's what the feedback's been is, I really like this side. I was leaning that side. It put me over the edge. Or I've even had people message me saying, I was so gung-ho on this team and you were on the other side. And I just thought, you know what? Leave it alone. And sure enough, it was money saved. So money saves, money won.
100%. The best bets you make sometimes are the ones you don't make. So I completely agree with that assessment. Back to the main event for 1 second. There's a question in the chat about the total. What are you guys at from a total perspective for Oliveira and Holloway, and where's the money? Because I'm guessing it's coming in on the over.
So we're looking at about 90% on the over. 2.5 over -160.
Okay.
There is some action though. The master money, it's not a lot, but it is on the under, and they come in on under 2.5 +153.
Wow.
So that's balancing out right now. But yeah, generally people are coming in hard on the over. So we'll see what happens.
JPC is saying that you paid for his son's Christmas. So congratulations on that.
There you go. Merry Christmas, son.
He's taking care of you with that. Anything else on that card on Saturday night that's getting action?
There's quite a few. Durden and Tummendum is getting good two-way action. The pros are on the favorite there. I think he's currently around minus 150. The action come in at minus mid-30s, low 30s. Good two-way action on, Jesus, these names, Aguilar and Samara Judum. Good two-way action there. And then on the master money, Dobrin Johnson is getting really good two-way action on the master money, and about 68% of the money there on Dober. But one of the master ones that really stands out is Jung Young Lee is just heavy on everyone. Masters, Rex, minus 265. There was heavy money there. And that's all one-way action right now.
Anybody taking Rob Font, my guy out of Woburn, Massachusetts? Any action coming in on him?
So this is one that is very, very heavy rec side, really big volume, more than 90% on Rosas Jr.
Yeah.
Not really any master action to deter, coming in there either way. But that one's really one-sided right now.
Yeah, it's a young kid. It's a kid from Vegas, actually. He's fighting, and Font's a little long in the tooth, so it's people think it's kind of a showcase for the kid to get a name on his resume to take down Rob Font. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out. So you said you're getting on a plane tomorrow. Are you out of Costa Rica next week? Where are you bouncing around to now?
Tomorrow, I am out tomorrow. I am playing in the Ultimate Betting Challenge at Gulfstream on Saturday, where you get to compete between that and Santa Anita. So I've been doing some horse form for that. And then Sunday, I'm heading to New York to spend a couple of days with my daughter because it's spring break up there. So that's as far as I've gotten so far, and then we'll work it out from there.
Sounds good, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks for the time. We'll catch up next week.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, Matt.
The one and only Adam Bjorn joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book, as he does every Thursday here, talking about everything happening behind the counter for us for Betcris Arizona. Good stuff coming up with that. Ish, sorry, I didn't see your question. I would have asked Adam on that, but you can DM him and he'll answer at Adam Bjorn 2 on Twitter for you guys to get a hold of that. You want to hear odds on wrestling? You mean WWE wrestling? I don't know if they offer at Betcris. I still can't believe people can bet on fake sport. It's fake sports. What are we doing? We're betting on fake sports. Why are we betting on fake sports? But okay, sure. Let's talk about what happened last night. What happened last night? The Patriots have cut Stephon Diggs. It's going to save them millions. He will most likely be signing with a different team. I guess maybe he could return with the Patriots, but he was going to be owed $6 million for a signing bonus on the roster if he was on the roster after the new league year, and his salary ballooned to over $20 million. So it was a pretty clear. It was the Patriots were not going to keep Stephon Diggs. But here's the question that everybody has: what does this mean for the position? Because everyone in football knows the Patriots must up their skill position players with Drake May. Stephon Diggs had a phenomenal one-year run with the Patriots, made it all the way to the Super Bowl, did not win it, obviously, but he got there. Where do the Patriots go with the position if it's not going to be A.J. Brown? Because everyone's saying that's the most likely, the most logical thing, but the Eagles have to trade him. So if you're not going to get that trade to go down, is it Alec Pierce or is it Mike Evans or is it somebody else that you go and bring in to be a part of this roster? There is scuttlebutt going around that the Patriots are going to spend some big money, but the media is highly skeptical of that, saying, like, we've heard this before, that the Patriots are going to be big spenders, and then they don't. So what does Mike Vrabel want to do? What does Elliott Wolf want to do? We're going to find out relatively soon here, because the quote free agent frenzy gets going next week, and there's going to be a run on wideouts. And there are a bunch of teams that do want to upgrade their positions, and they want to trade and or sign free agents who are going to be available. So we're all going to be talking about the quarterbacks. We're all going to be talking about the edge rushers, and we're all going to be talking about the wide receivers next week with the NFL as to who winds up going where. And there could be enough movement that we see numbers change. Normally, we don't see numbers change preseason all that often before the draft, simply because, well, let's see where that person lands. But if a team that is in need of a quarterback lands a competent quarterback and they've got other pieces, you might see a half a win, maybe even a full win change for a team in the preseason markets. So this is where professionals get going and they see opportunity. And maybe they fade it. Maybe they bet against it. Say, okay, that team's going to be worse. Are the Dolphins tanking? It sure looks like the Dolphins are tanking. So let's see what they do and who they how many players are they going to unfold? Or maybe they change and they go and add a quarterback, and maybe they could be better than we think. So how this next couple of days go for the NFL is going to be really interesting. And whether Max Crosby gets traded or not, whether Trey Henderson is going to get signed quickly or not, the edge rusher position is going to be very interesting for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones just cleared off a bunch of cap space yesterday trying to go add a player. So is it Max Crosby? Is it somebody else for that Dallas Cowboys defense? He wants to go and spend and find a high ticket, high profile player to come in. And there's going to be a bunch available for the Cowboys. So I'm really excited over the next week. If you're a football fan, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun to have it all play out. Some sad news to report. And if you're my age, Lou Holtz as a broadcaster was more famous than a coach, but he was a hell of a coach with Notre Dame and South Carolina. His family made the announcement this morning that Lou Holtz passed away at the age of 89 in Orlando, Florida, surrounded by his family. He was born January 6, 1937 in West Virginia. He rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most respected figures in college athletics. Over a remarkable 5-decade career, he led college programs at William & Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. He transformed every team he inherited and captured the 1988 national championship with the Fighting Irish. Holtz was preceded in death by his beloved wife of more than 50 years, Beth, with whom he shared a life ground in faith, devotion, and service. Sad news for Lou Holtz and from Lou Holtz's family about his passing, but what a career, what a life, what a man, what a personality. I mean, for a lot of us my age, I'm 48 years old. So in 1988, I was really young. I didn't know about the Irish all that much. I didn't know about Lou Holtz. I just know there was this guy who kind of looked like a turtle, who talked really funny and was just a big ball of energy. And, in 88, I was 11. So I don't remember much about that Irish team. I was growing up in Boston. We thought college sports were like this thing that just kind of like you had to watch. Like nobody was interested in it. The first college game I ever really remember watching was Doug Flutie against Miami in the Orange Bowl and the Hail Mary heard round the world. Like that's my first college football memory. Everything else, it's just kind of a blur. It wasn't impactful. But when Lou Holtz became a broadcaster for ESPN, there was this amazing personality that came through, and the way he spoke was just so memorable. And he had such a love and amazing way of talking to the camera about football. And he brought so many people like myself, who's a relatively uneducated college football fan for most of my life until I started working in it when I was 21, that we learned so much about college football. Lee Corso and his personality and what he did on game day, very similar to what Lou Holtz did for other ESPN, other outlets when he was calling games. And, Dick Vitale did college basketball. Lou Holtz did college football. And yes, Corso is part of it as well, but sad news out of college football, and just an incredible man, incredible story, and just really, really cool deal. Oh, this is a cool story. I met Lou at my job 7 years ago. He was fantastic and my coach as an 8-year-old the last time ND won the one championship. It's pretty cool. Amazing life. 89, hell of a run. Rest in peace to one of the really influential and big figures in college football. To college basketball, number 20 Arkansas last night crushed Texas. Guys, this is a betting trend for this weekend, for today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, senior days, for whatever reason, I've been betting teams at home the last couple of days when it comes to senior days, and they are winning these games. Now, is it just coincidental and anecdotal? Maybe, but Arkansas, I bet the over in that game yesterday. That hit easily. I laid the 6.5 with Arkansas. That hit easily. I took UNLV against Utah State. That hit easily. You just start looking through and looking at the rosters. And today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, these are the final home games for many of these teams and these players. Some of them, it's their last time playing in college basketball, but for many of them, it's the last time playing for that team. They know it's the last home game because they're going to go play the conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament, and they're going to hit the portal and they're out. So winning on the road in college basketball is really difficult, but winning on the road right now is extremely difficult for college hoops in this weekend as to what we have seen. So big win for Arkansas. Speaking of college sports, let's jump down the rabbit hole talking about a meeting that happened yesterday. All right, this is being brought to you by our friends at Rabbit. You guys can get 5 free Rabbit Cash when you sign up. Rabbit5 is the code when you go to the Google Play or Apple Store and download Rabbit. This is the way to take all of your trash talking, everything that you do in that group chat, and you can come over and apply it at Rabbit. You make the lines yourself. You don't pay the vig of a big sports book, and you're able to create the market for you and your friends. Have fun, go at it, and not just sit there and say, I was right. You can prove it with your friends as you're watching some of these incredible sporting events over the weekend. You guys can create really fun markets with Rabbit. 5 free Rabbit Cash with that code Rabbit5 when you sign up for a new account. Create, share custom sports picks, challenge your friends, not the house on Rabbit. So this is an interesting time for college sports. There was a secret meeting yesterday in Dallas to discuss the future of college athletics and what it will look like. There's a meeting tomorrow in Washington with the president with a whole bunch of dignitaries. And it looks like a complete photo op that won't do anything to advance college sports. However, there is an entity, a private equity firm called Smash Sports. They had a meeting yesterday in Dallas. And this is different because what these guys want to do is get every conference on board with the idea of one contract. They want to pool all the media rights for college sports to be able to negotiate one deal for all of them. Now, is it with one entity? I mean, if you look at what's going on with Warner Brothers and what they have just been sold for, and the fact that we are now going to see 1 or 2, 3 companies really controlling almost everything, Amazon being one of them, that now, in terms of the ability to put games online, if you're Amazon, you can cover it all. I mean, you could have every game of every sport that you want to cover. You could have that easily if you wanted to. So what they're pitching to all the big boys, and they did it yesterday in Dallas, is if we're able to convince Congress to change the antitrust laws to allow all of us to negotiate together, not individual contracts, not individual deals for the Big Ten, the SEC, and so on, but everyone is in the same boat. And we've got 10 conferences, and we're going to negotiate it for you guys. The amount of money that would be is ridiculous. But it's a private equity firm. It's pitching this plan to completely restructure major college football and others by pooling the media rights for all the 10 current conferences. The Big Ten has shown no interest in this plan. The SEC has shown no interest in this plan. The Big Ten had Michigan and Penn State there to discuss it, to look at it, because, well, that's one of your big power players in Michigan and another big one in Penn State. No Ohio State, but you had 2 dignitaries there from the Big Ten that will have this negotiation opportunity with Smash Sports to go ahead and try to find this with Smash Capital to go out there and restructure college football. The problem is if you're the Big Ten or the SEC, asking them to do something for the greater good is not in their best interest. They just don't do that. If we pull this together and we have football with one contract, and so they can, I mean, think about it. If you are a major online provider platform and you could have every college football game that you would ever dream of and you control it, the amount of money we're talking about is incredible on both sides, right? From the asking perspective as to what the conferences are going to ask for, and then what they're going to get from somebody in the streaming world, you would think, the Netflix world, right? Someone who has more money than they know what to do with to come in and say, we're going to be the new home of every college football game that matters. Forget your SEC games on CBS. Forget your Friday night Big Ten games on the Big Ten network. Like, it's all being controlled by one company. Will the SEC and the Big Ten play ball? I'm not sure why they will. Like, why would that? Why would you do that? I mean, to me, I like my independence, and the Irish in Notre Dame, you have to convince them to come on board as well with this. And they probably would, but they like their deal with NBC. They like the fact they control essentially one whole network. So you're asking people to act in the interest of the collective versus their own personal interest, their own conference interest. And the Big Ten likes how much money they make. The SEC likes how much money they make. So why would we hand over our rights to you guys? Oh, because the long term could be extremely beneficial. May not in the short term mean more money, but in the long term, as these rights get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we make more and more money, then potentially, yes, it would be beneficial to the Big Ten and the SEC. But you have to convince older guys that when you're gone, because you're Mr. 85-year-old, athletic director or, institution president, when you're gone in 20 years, in 30 years from now, you're going to be happy that you did this because of the money you're making in 30 years. These schools don't think like that. Like they don't think short term. They think, don't think long term. They think short term. They think, what's the next contract cycle? How much money can we make for our partner institutions? How much money are we able to put into pockets for the conference with our TV rights? So that's my big problem with this. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an interesting idea to get involved, to have this, and to potentially rise everyone up in college athletics. Because imagine if you're playing in the Mountain West Conference and you're a part of this, how much money you're going to make to be a part of this deal. Like, you're going to make way more money because they're going to be negotiating all of these big things going on. And you're going to be part of this conglomerate. You're going to be part of this big package that you wouldn't have been otherwise. Because, have you tried to watch a Mountain West Conference football game recently? Like, it's Saturday night, right? It's like 11 o'clock Eastern. It's on CBS Sports Network. Like, it's not easy to watch these games. So it would be beneficial for them to be on the same platform as Ohio State, Michigan, or Auburn, Alabama, right? That would be huge if you were having those opportunities. So I don't know how or why the SEC and the Big Ten would be convinced to go along with this, but it is the best thing for all of college sports to have this, to have a level of uniformity. Because once you get to the level of uniformity in the TV ranks and the TV contracts, now we can have a level playing field for NIL. Now we can have a actual salary cap, right? If everyone's on the same platform being broadcasted by the same place, getting the same amount of money, essentially, now we can go with NIL. Now we can build out a legitimate professional sports league, right? You get X number of millions of dollars to pay your players, and your players are expected to make X, Y, and Z, and you can't spend more than this. And if you do, there's a violation. If you do, you get fined, and we're going to fine you by withholding the money you would make, like the NFL does for all of the broadcasting rights. It's a very pro growth. Let's call it that. A pro growth plan. The sport will grow. It'll become way more professional. It'll look like the NFL, but it will protect the universities. These different things available for your players. It all will go down the way it's supposed to go down, like a workplace. There's all these protections you can put into place. So you're not lying anymore, going like, oh, you're a student athlete. No, you're not. You're there to play football. You're there to make money. So that I think is a very interesting thing to watch. So check that out. News of the industry. This is a fun story. All right, news of the industry. We either have somebody with Biff's Almanac, this guy is a messenger from the future, or we have a government employee who is a straight up leak and a problem. Have you guys seen this? This is somebody on Polymarket who has correctly predicted 9 separate U.S. military events or U.S. military involvement events in the last week. He got the U.S. strike on Venezuela right. He got the kidnapping of Maduro right. He got the U.S. forces in Venezuela right. He got the strike against Iran right. He got the Israeli striking against Iran right. He got the striking against Iraq. He got Israel striking down of Khamenei. He got the U.S. anti-cartel operations. This guy is a literal, well, you would call him a genius or you would call him an insider. And this insider is making bank. We're talking 100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars by going on Polymarket and betting on information that he or she is privy to and nobody else is privy to it. I mean, his next bet is the U.S. forces entering Iran in the near future. This guy knows something because this guy is part of the administration in some form or fashion. Like, this can't be acceptable for the U.S. military. Like, the U.S. military cannot be okay with somebody betting on national security secrets, because you'd have to assume that if the internet has figured this out, that the enemies of the United States have also figured it out. And so they can predict, hey, this guy is betting on this. He knows this is the next move. This is how it's happening. Like, it's from somebody who is way high up or has access to way high up classified information for the United States and how the military is going to operate. Because he's not just like kind of missing, he's nailing it on the bullseye every single time. And we're talking 6-figure bets and 6-figure wins over and over and over again. Can we please get somebody at the CFTC? Can we please get somebody to figure this out and shut this stuff down? Betting on war is disgusting. And I don't care if Polymarket doesn't operate in the United States. Polymarket US doesn't take bets like this. This is Polymarket across the world. But betting on and making money off people's deaths and war is reprehensible. It just is. It needs to stop. It really needs to stop. And I don't know how it stops. I don't know when it stops, except we gotta find who's leaking this stuff. Like, the U.S. military should care about this. It's significant. If the internet knows, sounds like everybody else who we're fighting can easily find out that information. And if we're going with boots on the ground in Iran, oh boy. Okay. Whew. If you guys are watching live, don't move. We got some bets to make for tonight coming up here. We'll make some bets and just the picks and favorite thing about today coming up as well. If you're watching on the replay on Sports Grid Television, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We are back tomorrow on Friday. My thanks to Adam Bjorn in Betcris, Arizona for coming in here today. Bonus time for you guys live starts now. Yeah. These success of the mission is secondary to the grift. It feels that way, right? Mission in heavy quotes. It's a military mission, but like, again, I like betting. I do. I like betting on sports. It's a lot of fun. Election betting is not great. I don't love betting on elections, but I'm okay with betting on the U.S. presidential election because I don't believe you can fix that. So I'm cool with that. But everything else that we're doing at the moment with prediction markets, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm cool with like the Oscars and the Grammys, and I'm cool with, weather predictions and other kind of very non-real life type stuff. But the invasion of a country, the death of a leader, the overthrowing of a government, these are not things that I want people betting on. Like, these are things that are just, I know Jake Paul made a big announcement that Polymarket and Better are not getting involved. And so all of the Jake Paul stuff is going to be done through Polymarket, and all like, when will Jake Paul fight again? And, who will Jake Paul fight and all the different stuff. It's like, I don't love those types of things, but I understand why people want to bet on them. I don't know. It's crazy. Kristi Noem just got fired. Is that true? Today? She got fired? Did that just happen? I wonder if, oh, wow. And by the way, okay, well, that's interesting. Am I frozen again? Sorry. We do have some breaking news. Our guy, J. Dow Betts, appreciate you passing along the information. Shams, ESPN, breaking. Boston Celtics all-star guard, all-star forward, Jason Tatum, will play this season and could make his debut on Friday against the Dallas Mavericks less than 10 months after surgery for a ruptured Achilles tendon. So who paid Bill Simmons? Woo, what a scoop. Bill Simmons, what a scoop. That's crazy. Bill Simmons on the nose. Tatum is back tomorrow. I'm wearing the hat. I brought the hat out for this reason. I brought the hat out for this reason. I saw it today. I saw it in the closet today. I was like, oh God, I got to wear this. If he plays tomorrow, I got to wear this. I got to bring it out. We're bringing out the big gun hat tomorrow. This is the little gun hunt. This is the I have two hats for this 24 championship. This one I bought. The other one was actually, I bought it, but it was gotten, Corbin got it for me. So we're bringing that hat out tomorrow. Jason Tatum's going to play tomorrow. Holy shit. Jason Tatum's going to play tomorrow. That is absolutely, completely, and totally bonkers that Jason Tatum is going to play for the Boston Celtics less than 10 months after rupturing his Achilles tendon. That is crazy. Modern medicine, man. Let's go. Cannot wait to see what they do with him tomorrow. That's going to be fascinating how they do it tomorrow. What's that number going to be tomorrow? Holy shit. That number, what's the number now? I bet the books are going to pull this off the board and see if he's going to play. Let's see. Tomorrow's number. Yeah, there's no number. Oh, no, it is up. DraftKings has it. 15.5. Boston at home. Do you understand the level of the ticket price for this game tomorrow night? What it's going to do with Tatum if they announce he's coming back officially? I mean, the noise at TD Garden. Yes, our future just got brighter. 100%, 15-1 on Boston. I mean, it's going to be. Could you imagine that moment when Tatum hits the floor? Holy crap. I can't remember a moment like this I'm 48 years old. I guess Brady coming back off the knee injury the next season when Tom was back after he blew the knee out. I guess that would be the type of comparison. But as a basketball player, I don't know there has not been a moment like this in Celtics history. I mean, it really hasn't been a moment like this in NBA history because no one's come back that fast. I mean, this is 10 months. Holy crap. Deuce Daly. Yup. Look out. Boston. I'm good with that, Eric. Let's go. I'm good. Yep. I'm cool with it. Knick fans are going to go, wait. What about us? No. But I want Boston to go through New York. Could you imagine if Tatum goes and smokes the Knicks in the playoffs after blowing out his Achilles the previous year against them? Oh my. That is phenomenal. Wow. Good job, Bill Simmons. He got that right. People were saying he's crazy. I said he would come back by Easter. I was dead wrong. He's coming back before damn St. Patrick's Day. How in the hell? Like, what is going on? Okay, but Paul Pierce coming out of the locker room was because he pooped himself. That was the problem with that. Like, as we learned, that story all kind of got totally like changed. It would have been great, but it wasn't great. You know, Tatum is working on Doc. Yes, he is. He's been putting out little nuggets for the last couple of weeks about the documentary he's shooting about his recovery, and it will do very well. Yes. Everyone's going to be holding their breath though, right? Like everyone wants to make sure, but going 5-on-5, getting cleared by the doctors, they're not going to clear him unless, and if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. He's a professional athlete. Injuries are part of it. Okay. He's won a championship. He's young. He knows the risks. If he blows the Achilles out again and he's out for 2 years or whatever it might be, everyone's so scared about what might happen with him as to how he's doing. But, you know, I'm good with it. I'm good with whatever happens. You guys just live your life and go play ball, man. If you get cleared by the doctors, go play ball. So just the picks for today. I'm on the under for the game that's tipping off right now. So let's see. Or I guess it tips off. What time does that game tip off? They changed the whole bracket for Arch Madness. Arch Madness used to have a noon tip off for Arch Madness, and now it's 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Okay, so you got some time. So I didn't add this. Under for Drake in Southern Illinois. We talked about this a little bit. Under 136.5 is number that I played for Drake in Southern Illinois. For that game, it tips off here in about an hour and a half for that. I like the under at Arch Madness. People playing Drake money line, I don't hate, but Drake has been bad, man. They lost 9 straight games. Drake's been really rough. Southern is a grinder of a team, and they are one of the best under teams in all of college basketball, like they are almost every single year. So I like under for SIU and Drake. I like Valpo laying 2.5 against Indiana State. Indiana State also has been absolutely god awful this year, and they've just been unable to beat anybody. Valpo now is up to a 3.5-point favorite. So that's the line right now. I played 2.5 last night. Valpo lost to Evansville in their last game, but they had been rolling and they beat Indiana State. They're 1-1 against the spread against Indiana State this year, but they are 2-0 straight up. So I do think that they win the game coming up here. Me betting a Drake game, not every week. This is the first game I've bet, Eric, for Drake. I stayed away from them this year because they've stunk. You know, Ben McCollum took all of the heat to Iowa and took it all out of Drake, unfortunately. So took all Drake's players too. So Drake's had a really bad year this year. But Valpo, I like Valpo minus 2.5. And then in the NBA, I like the Lakers plus 5.5 against Denver. They've had the number, which is kind of weird, but the Lakers have had the number for the Nuggets. And part of the problem for the Nuggets is that they just haven't played well against some of the top teams in the West. Lakers beat them 115-117 in Denver in the only other game so far that they've played. This number is 5.5. It opened at 4.5. It's been ticked up to 5.5, but we got Luka, we got LeBron, and I'm taking the points. Denver wins. Lakers cover the 5.5 coming up here tonight. That game will be seen on Prime Video tonight, but I like the Lakers to cover that 5.5 coming up here for tonight. Favorite thing about today, it just changed. Well, I was going to say a different favorite thing about today, but the favorite thing about today now is Jason Tatum. That's my favorite thing about today. Jason freaking Tatum. Like, what is this? If you're just popping in, Jason Tatum, according to Shams, is expected back this season by the Celtics in as early as Friday, which will be tomorrow, for him to play in the NBA 10 months after. Headline, ESPN, sources, Jason Tatum's expected to return tomorrow, Friday, at TD Garden against the Dallas Mavericks. Celtics are 15.5-point favorites. How many minutes will Tatum play? That's going to be fascinating. I will say this. Everyone who is so concerned about whose team it is, that Jason Tatum knows he is joining Jaylen Brown's team. Sorry, we're in bonus time, but if you have a kid around, I apologize. But please shut the fuck up. Like, please. Because it is one of the stupidest narratives in sports, but it's really stupid for the Boston Celtics because you know whose team it is? It is Joe Mazzulla's team. If you want to know who controls the Boston Celtics, it is the head coach. That's why it doesn't matter who gets hurt. That's why it doesn't matter who's available. That's why Jaylen Brown can sit down and the Boston Celtics can beat the Spurs by nearly 30 points. That's why. Because it isn't about one guy. Joe Mazzulla, gets players to play hard every night in a sport, in a league that has prided itself over the last couple of years of taking nights off. And they don't do that playing for Joe Mazzulla. He's a maniac, but he's also my favorite maniac. Like, I love the way he approaches the game. He is a mixed martial arts, MMA fighting coach. He's a guy who doesn't accept mediocrity or nights off. He doesn't deal with drama. He doesn't deal with selfishness. He is a guy who goes to work and gives everything he has and expects that to everyone. We do not appreciate how good of a damn coach Joe Mazzulla is. We don't talk about him nearly as much as we should. He's won a championship. He's played for the finals. He lost his best player last year. And this year, he's already chasing the number one seed. And yesterday, for 2 books offshore, the Boston Celtics became the odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship. Why? Because this news was coming. They saw it. It was coming right now that it was going to be Jason Tatum's return. You have a team that has role players that know exactly what they're expected to do, and they play together. Like, it's just so fun to watch this roster. And this roster is not made up of incredible, like Hugo Gonzalez. Where the hell did an 18 and 16 kid come from? He's making $2 million. 18 and 16, 18 points, 16 boards as a guard. Sam Hauser has just been a shooter again, just banging on shots. Peyton Pritchard, once again, top vet off the bench in basketball. Baylor Shireman, Kata's been incredible. Vucevic has been great since coming over. Jordan Walsh, a guy that no one thought was going to be a decent player in the NBA, suddenly has a roster spot and rotation spot with this team. That's the difference. So don't worry about Jason Tatum coming back and whose team it is. Don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. It's Joe Mazzulla's team. I don't think it's a donation, DeMarco. I think Jaylen Brown could very well win the MVP based on what he did, but Tatum's return is going to injure it. I would agree with that. It's hard if Boston continues to play really well or take the step even higher when Tatum comes back, and you'd expect them to play even better with Tatum coming back. Now, the other way around, if Boston plays poorly with Tatum and doesn't win a bunch of games with Jason Tatum, and actually it's harder to get him incorporated back into the roster and the rotation, that could help your ticket that Jaylen Brown is the MVP. But it does hurt it. Yeah, I think it does make it more complicated for the voters with Tatum coming back now here and playing in March. Told you, it's why I bet Boston early. I said take them at 15-1 because those numbers are going to, if Tatum comes back, down to the basement they go. Way down. Way down. Tomorrow's show is going to be fun. We'll talk a lot about Jason Tatum and the return to the NBA court against the Dallas Mavericks coming up tomorrow on the program. My thanks to Adam Bjorn for coming in every Thursday like he does, and Betcris Arizona for being the presenting sponsor of BvB. We're back tomorrow on a Friday's episode of the Bostonian versus the Book.